Καταξεκίνεται στο γήπεδο, πλησιάζει την περιοχή και...
Κατέβασε και εσύ το Bet On Alfa app και μην χάσεις ούτε ένα γκολ. Bet On Alfa. Ανεβήκαμε κατηγορία.
Welcome to a very special edition of the No Chof Des podcast. I'm Stel. This has been brought to you by Bet On Alfa. My special guest, as you can see, a gentleman who had a bit of time at Omonoia, but I'm sure he loved every single second of it. Mickael Gaffoor. Mickael, welcome to the show, Philly. How you doing?
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. You?
Yeah. Very happy that you've been able to come on the pod. We were talking for maybe 7 months. I'm busy, like you're busy. But everything's great, and I'm very pleased to have you on the pod, Phil. Honestly, it's a great pleasure to have you on, and I'm sure they're going to be people watching live. They're going to be asking questions about your time at Omonoia. But okay. Let's start from the beginning, because if I'm not mistaken, you were at Saint Etienne before you went to Spain. Is that right?
Yes. Before I came to Spain, I was playing in France, and the truth is I will stop to play football because I was playing in Saint Etienne like with Eric Boteac, and after this time I played in one team, Rodez. Now is a second division team in France. And after that was a bad year, and I was seeking to stop the football. But after that, I received one offer to Spain, and I try lucky there, and until now I stay here.
Well, talk to me about Saint Etienne. I know they're a very, very big team. Their fans are very passionate. And I saw, I think, was it last weekend, the week before, they didn't like the owners, and they brought clown masks, and they were complaining about the owners. What was it like as a youngster at the club?
Yeah, the Saint Etienne is a big club in France, and they have lot of supporter. I don't know the name in English.
Supporters, yeah.
Supporters.
Fans, supporters.
Lot of fans. And last year they go down in second division, and the fans are angry against the directly because the direction, because they made a lot of things wrong, and now the big team like Saint Etienne in France it's a big shame. One team like this played in second division, so all the fans. They are angry.
Yeah. Didn't they produce Saliba, the defender? Wasn't he there?
I don't know, but it can be. I think he played there, but I don't know if he made all this young career there. In Saint-Étienne. But it can be.
I remember that. I think it was Leicester City that signed Fofana, the defender.
Yes.
I think he was from Saint Etienne.
Yeah.
But they have a history of producing a lot of good players.
Yeah, they have a good formation there.
Yeah, that's right. So you went to Spain, and wow, you played for some big teams in Spain, Zaragoza, Celta. Two big teams there.
There was a big team, and I was a young player. And I learned a lot there in this kind of team. I played with a big player like Gabi, the midfielder of Atletico Madrid, and I learned a lot with this kind of player.
Was it easy to learn the culture in Spain? Because I've been to Spain and I've been to France, and they're quite similar. Even some of the words in the language is a little bit similar. So was it easy for you to go to Spain?
Was not too easy, because when I came here I was young, like 19 years old. But I I remember when I came here, the director of the squad, he told me you will live with some other guys, and I think it was the better thing for me, because to learn the Spanish, it was better, because I couldn't speak French with anybody. So you have to work and to learn Spanish as quickly as possible to can speak with somebody, because I was alone there, and it
Yeah,
was
I can
it
imagine.
was it was difficult for like 5 6 months, but after that you can speak okay with. You make a lot of wrong words, but
Yeah.
you can speak with someone and understand.
Absolutely. So you played for a few more other clubs, but then you ended up joining Omonia. Now, the first question I always ask players or players that have played for Omonia, did you know anything about Omonia? Did you know much about the club's history before you joined them?
The truth is nothing, because when in Spain we have a big problem, for me, my opinion, because here we a lot of people. I cannot speak for everybody, but a lot of people think the football in Spain is the best football. So when you play in here in Spain, you think he's the best football, and for example in Cyprus, in Bulgaria, in this kind of country, we are thinking about, okay, the level is less than here, and it's not the true. It's not true, and I can learn it when I went to Cyprus. But I don't know anything about Omonia before I signed there.
So was it your agent or your manager that told you about the club, or did someone from the club call you? Because I remember there were many Spanish players joining at the same time. I think there were maybe 8 or 9 players. I remember
Yeah,
Jordi Gomez was had just joined. I think Manrique had joined, if I'm not mistaken. There were a lot of Spanish players.
a lot of Spanish players. I remember we were like 8 9 Spanish player,
Yeah.
and I remember Raúl Loe. He's a French guy, but he played in Spain as well. But I remember most of this player went there because Angel Gomez, he was the director sportif. I don't know in
Yeah.
Spain,
Sporting
in English
director.
name.
Yep. Yep.
Uh, Signed there in Omonia. So he called my manager, and after that, when they told me about this interest, so I said, okay, I want to go there, because the project was a big project for me. No, it was, you can play in the first division in other country to try to make a good season and play European game.
You mentioned the project. What were you told about the project? Because I know Oliva was sacked after a few months, and then Gomez took charge, and he didn't last too long. So, when you were told about the project, were you explained what it was about? Because it seemed that it was sign a lot of Spanish players and use the Spanish model.
Yeah, it was hard. It was hard for the Spanish guys, and for me as well, because all of I cannot say all of the Spanish guy go there because of him, but most of this player went there because of Angel. And when they sack the Spanish guy, was hard because I don't remember the coach came after Oliva, the Greek guy,
Yeah,
and
Yannis, yeah, yeah.
the relation with this coach was very bad for me, and for other guy, and for the football player, this kind of relation is it's important for the confidence and
Hmm.
to have a good level after that on the pitch.
Yeah, it's understandable because when you have a model and you have a project that's being worked on, and you have a sporting director that's Spanish, the head coach is Spanish. You have 8 or 9 players that are Spanish or perhaps French. I think we had the Nigerian, we had a
Mm.
Serbian, a few Cypriot players, a couple Portuguese players, but it was predominantly Spanish. And then within a few months, that's it. It's
Yeah.
changed. It's gone. So
Yeah.
going back to the original conversation you had with your manager, your agent about
Mm.
joining Omonoia, were you told by Gomez what the plan was?
The plan was to make a big team, to make a big team to try to fight with Apoel to win
Hmm.
the championship. It was clear for me when I signed that. The biggest project was to win the championship. And when I went there, I remember when the first time I went to the training center, I was in shock because I remember it was a lot of things we don't have here in Spain. So
Hmm.
I remember I told to Angel that this club is a big team, and after I remember the first training, there were a lot of fans go to watch the training session,
Yeah.
and it was amazing for me because here in Spain, second division, you can you don't see the lot of fans goes to the training session. So it was amazing. Good
Mm.
remember that.
I can imagine. I can imagine. So you've come to Omonia, you've seen the training ground, you've seen your teammates. Do you remember any teammates that you didn't know beforehand, but you thought, he's good, he's very good. They can push us to challenge for the title?
The all of the Spanish players, okay, I know all of them because I played against them. I know Lucas Bintra because
Vindra,
he
yep.
played in Spain and I know him. But all of the rest, I didn't know anyone. But after few training sessions, you can watch. Matt was amazing striker. Uh, the Portuguese the midfielder was a good player as well. Alex
Suarez.
Alex Alex
Suarez.
Suarez, uh, Jailson. Now
Mm.
I think we had a big team with good player, but sometimes even if you have a good player, if your team is not working together, it's not possible to make something.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing is, it took you maybe what 4 or 5 games into the season to make your first appearance for the club. I think your debut was against, was it Salamina? You played Salamina, and
Yes,
then it was Buffo and Apoel.
yeah.
But you were on the substitutes bench before that for
Mm.
3 or 4 games. So playing against Salamina, I mean, Salamina aren't a big team like Abuel or Apollon. But what was the standard of their players when you saw them play against you? Were you surprised with how good or bad or however they were?
No, yeah, I remember first of all when I came there to Omonia, I remember I spoke with Angel, I spoke with Oliva, and I made a good precision, and he told me you has to be our central back with maybe with Lucas, but you have to play, and I was happy there. I was very happy because I feel good and I'm training good. But after the last friendly game, I took a little injured in my ankle, and I remember when the first game of the championship, he put me out, and I was too hungry against Oliva, and he don't speak with me during like three weeks on the row or something like this.
Wow.
And just before the game against Salamina, Oliva needs to win this game, because if we lost or if we draw, he will go out. And he told me, okay, you have to play and we have to win. And I remember when we played against Salamina, we was thinking, and we were thinking about, we have to win, but the game was not like we want, and the way we play was not good. And in football, if you don't make the good thing, you cannot win against Salamina, but you cannot win against another team as well. If you don't make the good thing on the pitch, it's too difficult to win the game against anybody, against all the team.
You mentioned having maybe a bit of an argument with Oliver. Was he a very argumentative coach? Was he, or maybe you just had a bad day one day? Was he always very stern with players?
No, he had a good relation with some of people, but not with me, not with me. So I cannot speak for the other one, but with me, we start with a good relation. And after the start of the season, uh, I remember I spoke just a few days with him. I spoke a lot with Angel, because Angel told me, you have to still fighting, and you have to wait, and you will play. But it was hard. It was hard because when you go there to the team like Omonoia, and but before you sign there, they told you, okay, you will be an important player, and I saw I didn't play the four first games. I was too hungry against Oliva, and okay, I know the football is like this now. We are 20 players on the squad, and just only player can play in the first 11. But it was hard. It was hard.
It's you mentioned Gomez and how you spoke to him and he gave you motivation to wait to give you your opportunity. Was Oliva the main guy at the club? Because it seems to me that maybe it was Gomez that was in charge of everything, but Oliva perhaps didn't make the big decisions. Is that right? Or do you think maybe some players that were signed weren't players that he wanted? I'm not sure,
No,
because I've heard this before.
I think when the Angel signed a player, I think Oliva was agree with him. I think because Oliva was the guy who made the team. I know Angel. Okay, he could speak with Oliva to tell him, well, maybe it's better to put Matt on striker, but Oliva, if he want to play with David Ramirez on striker and put Matt on the bench, but Angel didn't say nothing about it. It's his decision, and he made his decision, and he kicked it off. He kicked it out as well for his decision.
Yeah, seems like it. So when you look at the squad, do you remember any good times with the players? Because I've spoken to other Omonoia players and about during previous eras, the successful eras when the club was winning titles and winning cups. You joined at a time when it was a transition. There was a lot happening in the background. We then saw Baba Stavro buy the club. later on, if I'm not mistaken. So he wasn't in charge then. But during that time, we knew about the financial problems. We knew about the issues off the field. What were your best memories with the squad? And what was your worst memory, should I say, with what was happening in the background? Do you remember anything like that?
Good memory. On the pitch with the squad is difficult because we made the sorry for the word, but was a very shit year because we finished I don't know, I
Fifth?
don't remember if fifth or
Fifth,
sixth
yeah.
on the championship,
Yeah.
and then on the cup I think was Apollon kick the team out. So I don't have a good memory about this because we don't win a big game, so nothing about that. And but 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 when I remember my time in Cyprus and in Omonoia, I remember all of the time I spent there with lot of love, because all the people around the Omonoia team was very good guys. And if I met somebody on the street or somewhere, all of the guys that they told me, "Oh, how are you? Okay, we have to still fighting, and it's okay. Next time or next game, you will be better." And so it was a pleasure to speak with the people over there. So I remember this time with lot of love, but on the pitch was very hard, and was not a big the good remember.
Yeah, I think, didn't we play? I think we lost 2-0 against Apoel. When was it? In October? I think it might be in the end of October. Yeah, and it was a very difficult time then. I know you played in that one, if I'm not mistaken. I think, did you play maybe 45 minutes, or did you play the whole game? I
45.
can't
I
remember.
get injured just before the halftime.
Yeah. So what can you tell us about that Upwell team? Because we know that they won numerous league titles. I mean, I think 6 in a row before that. I can't remember when it was. I mean, they won a lot of titles. I think it had been 7 in a row. I think Apollon won the league that season, if I'm not mistaken. But in terms of Upwell as a team, were they a giant? Because we saw them do well in the Champions League, Europa League. How good were they?
Well, there was a big team with a lot of good players, and against them, the first goal I remember was a mistake, my mistake, because I lost one ball just around the box, and they scored the first goal. And when you go down in this kind of game, is complicated. And I remember the situation of the squad was difficult, and we needed a good game and a good result to improve our confidence and our football. And against this kind of team, Apoel, against a good player, if you make regalo, I don't know
Like a
the
mistake?
name. No, but if you make a mistake against a team like this, it's too hard to win this kind of game.
Yeah, it's tough. And the thing is, when I remember that Upworld team, they had Merkiz, Moraes, Souza, they had Damari, they had Zahid. They had a spine through the middle of the team, and it seemed very unified. But our squad at the time, that we didn't for me, it didn't seem like we had that bond with the players. Maybe because all of them came at the same time. I know, obviously, Gusulo had come in from Salamina. We had Jordi who came in, Jordi Gomez who came in, Matt, as you mentioned, but and Christophe, obviously. But it didn't seem like there were many players that were together. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, but in this team we have a lot of nationality, lot of Spanish player, English player, Portuguese players, a lot of nationality, and it's difficult to make a good I don't know in English how can I say,
Like a
to make
cohesion where they work together?
cohesion together, all together. It's difficult because we have a lot of things, different things in the Spanish, in Spain, in Cyprus, in England, in Inglaterra.
England, yeah.
So it's hard to make a cohesion, and I think was a big problem for us to 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 improve in this way, and in this team, if you have a lot of players, extranjeros, lot of players they came from another country, the most important thing is to make a cohesion in this team to can win titles or something like this, or fight for this. First of all, you have to make a cohesion in this team, and I think was a big problem for us during this year.
Do you remember much about what was happening with the president and maybe the previous ownership? Do you remember much about what was happening then?
When after my first year there,
well, when you joined Omonoia, we had a different president to what we have now. What was he like then? And were you guys being paid on time? Because we heard various stories about players not being paid, and
when I arrived there and I spoke with some players, they played in Omonoia. They spoke very bad to Omonoia about this kind of things. Only about because they told me the last guy paid late, or they didn't pay. And when I came there, the president was very good in this kind of thing. What only if no, always we get the salary on time. He spoke to me lot of time, and he told me he believed in a lot of me, and everything was a good words from him. So I just say thank you to the president, because he made lot of things to this club, and if Omonia wins the title, they can play European games after a tough season. Is because of him.
Brilliant. Well, I've got some quick questions with regards to the players that you played alongside. Do you remember any players who were perhaps the most skillful? Who do you think had the most skill in the team?
The skills, maybe Gelson. Gelson had good skills, and he was a right back, but he had the good skills.
Like Dani Alves.
Like Dani Alves.
Who do you think was the funniest person?
The person?
Yeah.
Laura, the Spanish guy. Right back as well, but was too funny, this guy.
Yeah. I spoke to other players, and they've told me stories about how certain players had pool parties and they'd be jumping in the pool at 3 o'clock in the morning. Did you have any crazy people in the squad then? Do you remember?
No, I don't remember, because when I was living there, I was with my family, and I stay all the time with them.
Okay. So who would you say was the worst dresser? Who wore the worst clothes?
The worst clothes.
Yeah.
Let me think about it. Okay, the style.
Style, yeah, yeah.
The style is different here in Spain, like in Cyprus, for example. But for me, maybe Christian Christian Montes was the
Oh,
worst.
Montez. Okay, wow.
For me, was
I
the
don't
worst.
think he'll. I don't think he'll mind you saying that. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And in terms of training, I know some footballers don't like training. Some footballers turn up and they no, I don't want to train. I want to play, but I don't want to train. Who was the worst person in training?
In training, let me. Well, Albin for sure. Albin,
Yeah.
Juan Albin, and but for me, I have a lot of players. They don't like train, but after
Mm,
that on the pitch, they are the best player on the pitch. And Albin for me was the best player on the squad, but
yeah.
on the pitch he was he he don't want to play. I don't know what happened with him, but it was
Mm.
not his best year on the pitch this year.
Okay. Now I don't know if you know, but there's a gentleman called Jesper Fredberg. Does that name ring a bell? Do you remember that name? No, it might have
No,
been you. He might have been before you were there. I think it might have been before. But Jesper did a big job in fixing the youth academy, and there were quite a lot of youngsters in the squad. If I'm not mistaken, it was Johnny's there. I think Johnny's may have
Johnny's,
been
yeah,
around.
Johnny's,
Was a
Haralambos,
Lois Hambo?
Eloisio,
Yeah,
Loisio,
Loizo.
Loisio
Yeah,
joined the team on the final of the
15.
season.
Yeah, he was 15, wasn't he? So I think Gagul Lim may have been there, if I'm not mistaken. I think may have been
Kakulis,
there.
yeah, Kakulis
May
as
have
well.
been. And most of these, in fact, all of them are playing in the first team now. Johnny's is in MLS. I'm sure you know
Yeah.
this. He plays for Sporting Kansas. So, what do you remember about the youth academy, and what do you remember about these players?
Well, I remember Johnny's had a lot of quality. He trained very hard and he learned a lot. So Johnny's, I'm not surprised about him because he worked hard to can make a good career in football. And Haralambos and Kakulis, they came with the team on the final of the championship. So I don't I don't know really nothing about his quality because I played with them just a few months. So okay, Kakulis, I saw he's a fast player. He's very fast, and Haralambos a good quality as well, technical player. And Lojo get he's a fast player as well and with quality. But I didn't play a lot of time with them to can speak about them.
Well, it's interesting because Gaguli, Hambo, and Loizo have signed new contracts till I think Loizo maybe till 2024, if I'm not mistaken, but Gaguli and Hambo till 2026. And also, Panayi, the goalkeeper, he's still at the club and he signed a new contract. He's playing for the national team right now, actually, against Bulgaria. What do you remember about him? Because he's been a very reliable goalkeeper for Omonoia. He's been a very reliable, very yeah, he's loyal as well, you know.
He's loyal, and now in this time is very good to meet one player like Panayi because he's very good person. When I came there and was the first guy, the first Cyprus guy to try to help me for everything, and was a very good guy. But okay, he have a bad lucky because he get lot of injured, and I think he's a very good player and the most important is better person. So for me it was I'm very happy to meet this kind of guy, and Panayi is one of the best Cyprus men who I met in who I meet in there in Cyprus.
Fantastic. Well, just one more question, Mickaël. What have you been doing since leaving Omonia? Because I heard you went to Andorra. Is that correct? You're
Yes,
playing.
that's correct. That's correct. After Omonia, I prefer to came back here in Spain for my family, for me, because it was a tough year. Even if I was happy there in Cyprus, but I made personally a shit year because I couldn't play my best football. I couldn't show to the fans my level. So I prefer to came back here in Spain and play here because I know everything in Spain. I know the football and who play here, and I prefer to play here. So I played 2 years in the PK's team, and now I'm playing in the team near of my house in Murcia to just before I stop my career.
Brilliant. So I forgot to ask you, when you said that you left Omonia, was it a good breakup, or was it maybe you left thinking, I don't know, this club has gone about things the wrong way? Do you feel a little bit disappointed in yourself? I don't know.
No, I'm sad to leave Omonia because I I would like to make a good season and stay there for 2, 3, 4 years. But okay, it's my fault. If in football, if you cannot improve, football is like this. They kick you out. Is like so. I'm sad and angry, but against me, because I get my chance to show for the fans, for the club, what is my level, and if I can't play, then I can help the team to get the championship and to play European game. But if you when you are on the pitch, you made the shit game, it's normal. So
Yeah.
when they kicked me out of Romania, I was sad and angry, but against me. But the truth is, here there in Cyprus is very good life, good weather, good people, good club, good fan. Everything is good for everyone to play in one team like Omonia. And here in Spain, a lot of players ask me to play in Cyprus, and I always say to them, over there the championship is not easy. It's not easy because here in Spain we are thinking, okay, there in Cyprus we have a team like Apoel, Apollon, AEK, Omonia, and all of the rest of the team are shit team. And I told them, no, not like this. You have a big team there like Salamina, Paphos, and all of the game is hard. But if you have a chance to sign of one team of Cyprus, go there because you can learn a lot. Just not just for the football, but even in for the language, for
The
the
culture. Yeah.
for the so the culture, or all of this kind of thing is important for one guy. And I think if one Spanish player get the chance to sign there, he has to go.
Yeah. Well, there's a question here. Would you recommend Cyprus to other players? And you've just answered the questions. Brilliant. No problem. No problem. You said you played for Pique's team. Did you meet him? Did you meet the
Yeah,
guy?
lot of time. He came a lot of time to speak with the team, and I think he's a very good president, and he can bring the Andorra in the first division. I don't know when, but in few years and for sure Andorra will play in the first division here in Spain.
Yeah, I've heard good things about him. I know a guy called Marcus Nomeyer that used to play for Manchester United in the academy with Piqué, and he always told me that the guy was so calm. He was such a good footballer as well. You know?
This guy, all things he can touch, he will make it oro, or gold. He will make it gold because he goes to the tennis and he made tennis is nothing about football. He goes to the tennis and he made the cup, the Davis Cup.
Davis Cup, yeah.
He took one team like Andorra in sixth division and he bring it in second division. So and Andorra played very good football. You like Barcelona.
Yeah.
So I'm sure this guy he will be president of Barcelona one day for sure.
Well, his career didn't finish well at Barcelona. That
because this year he has a lot of problems, personal problems with his wife, and Xavi signed a lot of central back, and he didn't play a lot of game this year, and the press go against him, so he preferred to stop his career and focus on the other thing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there's a question here from Bedros. He says, "What's your opinion about the Omonoia fans?"
Well, my opinion is for me is the best fans I can have in all my career, because they are always support us, and even when we lose one game, they are always here and support the team. And for me, I told you before, for me was the best things I saw there in Cyprus.
Brilliant. Well, Mickael, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And good luck with the rest of your career, my friend. It's been an absolute pleasure knowing you, talking to you on the podcast. Hopefully we can have you on again. I'm going to try and get Matt to come on, because Matt is always jumping on the podcast sometimes. And, we could talk about your time at Omonoia, maybe some great memories. I had Jordi on. Jordi jumped on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, and maybe we could do like a get together, get some former players and talk about the times at the club.
Was a good time. But thank to you to invite me, and it was my pleasure.
Thank you very much. Well, boys and girls, the man himself, Mickael Gaffoor. Great to have the young man on the show. He's younger than me, so I can call him the young man, So don't forget to like, subscribe, tell your nunna, follow Bet On Alfa, our sponsors, follow Omonoia Football Town. And until next time, Gobella, as we say, fuck Androbidje, Bamic, come on.